Hi, welcome back to Faye Stories. What if I told you there's a village where it gets so cold, ink freezes, phones shut down, and cars can never turn off?
Wait, is that a metaphor? Or are you just describing my Wi-Fi in winter?
No, this is real. And guess what? People actually live there. And not just survive, but thrive.
Okay, where are we starting today? Antarctica? Mars?
Worse. Today we're diving into some of the most extreme, life-threatening places on Earth. Places so hostile that just being there feels like cheating death. And by the end, we'll also show you the safest place on Earth. Maybe you already live there.
Or maybe I should move there. Like, right now.
Let's begin in Siberia, specifically a tiny village called Oymyakon. It holds the record for the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth.
Cool. So cold it made history?
Exactly. In 1926, Oymyakon hit minus 71.2 degrees Celsius. That's minus 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Unofficial reports even claim temperatures below minus 77 degrees Celsius. And guess what? People still live there today.
How do they not die?
Well, about 500 residents survive by fishing, hunting, and raising reindeer. But daily life? Brutal. Cars can never be turned off outside, or they'll freeze solid. Phones? Dead in seconds. Pens don't work. Even ink freezes.
So, how do they write anything?
They still use pencils, and when they go outside, they cover every inch of skin, except the eyes.
And the eyes can handle it?
Strangely, yes. Eyes are among the most cold-resistant organs in the body.
That's kinda beautiful. And terrifying.
You know what's wild? In Oymyakon, if you toss a pot of boiling water into the air, it instantly turns into snow dust before it hits the ground. Locals do this as a kind of science party trick, just to show how cold it gets.
So basically, it's like living inside a science experiment.
Exactly. Even basic things become life-threatening challenges. Imagine trying to go fishing. You have to dig through meters of ice, then use handmade tools because modern ones freeze up. There's even a man who runs a YouTube channel showing how he survives each day, wearing fur coats, feeding sled dogs, and cooking frozen meat outdoors in minus 50 degrees Celsius.
That's actually kinda wholesome, but also insane.
And kids still go to school unless it's below minus 54 degrees Celsius. Like, hey honey, it's only minus 52 today. Grab your backpack. Now, let's head south, to the opposite problem. Welcome to Cherrapunji, a town in northeast India, known as the rainiest place on Earth.
More than England?
Way more. In July 1861, it rained 9.3 meters. That's 30 feet of rain in 1 month. And annually, around 24 meters. That's like living under a waterfall.
How do people even live there? Just build boats?
They adapted in a genius way. In Cherrapunji, rivers overflow constantly, and bridges rot quickly. So instead of building bridges, they grew them.
Grew? Like planted?
Yes. They trained living tree roots across rivers. These bridges are made of actual roots from the rubber fig tree, woven and guided over generations.
So the bridge is alive?
Exactly. The oldest living bridge is over 500 years old, and it's getting stronger every year.
Why aren't we all doing that?
It's an ancient craft, passed down generations. Villagers guide the tree roots over wooden scaffolding, weaving them slowly across rivers. It takes 10 to 15 years for one bridge to fully form. But once it does, it lasts for centuries.
That's honestly beautiful. Like humans and nature building together, not against each other.
And get this, some bridges are 2 stories tall. They're called double-decker root bridges. In the rainy season, the lower one gets submerged, so people just walk across the top.
Man, I'd take that over my subway commute any day.
There's a valley in Russia where the air itself can kill you in seconds. It's called Kikpinich Death Valley. And no, this isn't a nickname. It's a warning.
That sounds very final.
It is. Located in the far east of Russia, near the volcanic Kamchatka Peninsula, this valley is surrounded by mountains that trap hydrogen sulfide gas, a toxic, invisible killer.
Is that the one that smells like rotten eggs?
Yeah, but if you smell it, it might already be too late. Just a few breaths can burn your eyes, collapse your lungs, and shut down your nervous system.
So no one goes there.
Well, people don't plan to. Most deaths happen when locals go out foraging mushrooms or berries and accidentally wander in.
Like they just vanish?
More like collapse. Rescue teams have found entire groups of dead animals. Foxes, bears, deer, all lying still. No wounds, just dead. It's like the earth itself draws a line and says, no life beyond this point.
That's terrifying. Do gas masks work?
Theoretically, yes. But there's no cell signal, no landmarks, and no warning signs. If you're inside, there's no one coming.
That's literally enter and die.
And it's not just legends. In 1975, a local hunter and 2 hikers vanished there. Their bodies were found days later, eyes wide open, collapsed mid-step. Now let's jump to the other extreme. Death Valley, California, the hottest place on Earth ever measured.
Oh yeah, that place that breaks your car and your soul?
Pretty much. In 1913, the temperature hit 56.7 degrees Celsius, or 134 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the highest natural temperature ever officially recorded on this planet.
And it's still hot today?
Oh yeah. In the past few summers, it's hit 54.4 degrees Celsius, again and again. Close enough to melt shoe soles if you're standing on the wrong rock.
People live there?
There's a small community in Furnace Creek, and every year, thrill seekers come to hike or run ultramarathons through the desert. Some wear thermometers, others collapse.
That's not adventure. That's survival tourism.
And here's the deadly part. It's not just the heat, it's the dryness. You don't even feel how much you're sweating. By the time you realize you're dehydrated, it's too late.
So people actually die there?
Yes, almost every year. In July 2023, a 71-year-old hiker died on a trail, despite carrying water. The ground temperature was so high, it melted parts of his gear.
That's horrifying.
Even NASA uses Death Valley to test Mars rovers. That's how alien it is. The rocks, dust, UV levels, it's the closest thing we have to Mars on Earth.
Wait, Mars? So if the aliens ever land, they'd feel right at home there?
Only if they love heat stroke. And now, let's talk wind. Not a breeze, not a gust, but a constant howling monster that lives on top of Mount Washington, New Hampshire.
Wait, is this another record breaker?
Oh yeah. In 1934, it clocked a wind speed of 372 kilometers per hour. That's 231 miles per hour. For decades, it was the fastest surface wind ever recorded. In fact, the only stronger wind ever recorded on Earth was during a cyclone in Australia in 1996, 408 kilometers per hour. But it lasted only 3 seconds. Mount Washington's winds? They blow like monsters all year round.
That's faster than most planes.
And it's not just a one-time fluke. Mount Washington has some of the harshest weather on Earth, and it's only 6,288 feet tall. It's constantly battered by icy storms, blizzards, and winds strong enough to knock people off cliffs.
Anyone live up there?
A handful of weather scientists work at the summit in a special observatory. They're tethered with ropes when they go outside. Some have reported their eyelids freezing shut in under 2 minutes.
You'd have to pay me a lot to do that job.
One of them described the wind as a jet engine made of knives. Even the snow doesn't fall. It flies sideways, sharp as glass.
So let me get this straight. People live in a freezer, others live in a toaster, and these folks live in a blender?
Perfect summary. And there have been tragedies. In 2004, 2 climbers were caught in a sudden storm. Wind chill dropped to minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and both died before rescue teams could reach them.
That's the kind of place where nature doesn't forgive even one small mistake.
Exactly. Mount Washington might not look as tall as Everest, but the weather? It's worse. Okay, so we've now seen how brutal nature's extremes can be. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about the places made dangerous not by nature, but by humans themselves. Let's start with the middle of the Pacific Ocean, one of the man-made danger zones. Bikini Atoll. Sounds like a tropical paradise, right?
Swimsuit?
We'll get to that. But no. Bikini Atoll is one of the most irradiated places on Earth. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States conducted 66 nuclear tests there.
66? On one island?
It's actually a group of tiny coral islands, part of the Marshall Islands. The US relocated the local population, promising they could return later. They never could.
Let me guess. Radiation?
Worse than expected. Even decades later, fruits grown on the island contain dangerous levels of cesium-137. There's a giant crater in the lagoon from the Castle Bravo hydrogen bomb test. It was 1,000 times stronger than Hiroshima.
So the island became a nuclear test dummy.
Exactly. And the name Bikini became famous, not because of the island, but because in 1946, the same year the bomb exploded, a designer released a shockingly small swimsuit. He named it after the island, hoping the explosive reaction would match.
That's the most cursed fashion origin story I've ever heard.
Let's go to Scotland now. Gruinard Island, a picturesque green isle off the coast. Looks peaceful. But from 1942 to the 1980s, no one was allowed to set foot there.
Why? What happened?
During World War II, Britain tested anthrax bombs on this island. They wanted to see if anthrax could be used as a biological weapon.
That's like using your backyard as a test lab for death.
Exactly. They released anthrax spores and observed how quickly it killed sheep. It worked. Too well. The spores soaked into the soil, and for over 40 years, the island remained lethally contaminated.
And they just left it?
Until 1986, when the UK government decided to clean it. They sprayed formaldehyde, removed topsoil, and declared it safe.
I don't care how many times you say safe. I'm not going.
Fun fact, before cleanup, someone anonymously sent a soil sample from the island to the government with a note. This is proof your killer island isn't forgotten.
That's not just a warning. That's a curse.
Next up, Italy. There's an island in the Venetian lagoon called Poveglia. To the locals, it's known as the Island of the Dead.
I already hate this.
It started during the Black Plague in the 14th century. To stop the spread, Venice shipped infected people to this island and left them to die.
Quarantine by exile?
Worse, mass graves, burning pits, and a reputation so bad, sailors refused to dock nearby. Later, in the early 1900s, they turned it into a psychiatric hospital.
Of course they did.
The hospital gained infamy. Patients claim they saw ghosts, heard screams. One legend says a doctor performed cruel experiments, then went mad and jumped from the bell tower. Some say he was pushed by something.
Okay, this isn't a danger zone. This is a horror movie set.
Today, the island is officially abandoned, but technically open to visitors. No boats go there. Locals won't talk about it. And in 2014, the government tried to auction it off. No one bought it.
What's next? Airbnb listings?
Authentic haunted asylum with sea view. Previous guests never left. Finally, the most famous forbidden zone in modern history, Area 51.
Aliens. Here we go.
Located in the Nevada desert, Area 51 was long denied by the US government. It only became officially acknowledged in 2013, when declassified CIA documents confirmed its existence.
So they lied about it for how long?
About 60 years. They claimed it was for aircraft testing, like the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird. But sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, skyrocketed around the area.
You're telling me it's just a runway?
That's what they say. But recent years changed everything. In 2020, the US Navy declassified videos showing unexplained aerial phenomena. Even Congress now holds public hearings about UFOs.
So, the truth is out there?
Maybe. And it's probably flying somewhere over Nevada.
Okay, but real question. Has anyone ever tried to break in?
Oh yeah. In 2019, an online joke became the Storm Area 51 movement. Over 1 million people RSVP'd to raid it. Only about 150 actually showed up. No one made it inside. Security is, let's say, serious.
Probably for the best. Whatever's in there, I don't think it wants to be found.
After visiting all those danger zones, where is it actually safe to live? Every year, a group called the Institute for Economics and Peace releases something called the Global Peace Index.
That sounds like a very polite way to say, who's not bombing each other?
Basically, yes. They use 23 different indicators to measure safety. Things like internal and external conflicts, homicide rates, political stability, relations with neighboring countries, military spending, frequency of terrorist attacks.
Okay, that's actually kinda useful. So, where is the safest place?
As of 2025, the top 5 safest countries in the world are Iceland, 18 years at the top, no military, low crime. Volcanoes, yes, but no war. Ireland, peaceful diplomacy, high social trust. New Zealand, isolated, stable, and friendly. Austria, neutral policies, low crime. Switzerland, you guessed it, clean, armed with chocolate, and punctual trains.
So the safest country in the world is the one that sounds like an RPG tutorial zone?
Pretty much. Iceland is like, here's a sheep. Go meditate in peace. And now, the other end of the list. The most dangerous countries today.
Here we go.
The bottom 5 countries on 2025 are Russia, active military conflict and high international tension. Ukraine, ongoing war zone. Sudan, civil unrest and humanitarian crisis. Democratic Republic of Congo, rebel groups and instability. Yemen, war, famine, and collapsed infrastructure.
That list is brutal.
Yeah, and it reminds us, sometimes the danger isn't volcanoes or toxins or blizzards, it's people. So now we've seen toxic valleys, nuclear islands, stormy mountains, and haunted hospitals.
And places where if your car turns off, you're dead.
Right. So here's the question. Are you living in one of the safest places on Earth? Or closer to a danger zone than you realized?
And if so, are you moving? Or just locking your door tighter?
Let us know in the comments. Where are you from? Do you feel safe? And which place in this video shocked you the most?
We'll feature some answers in a future episode.
Until then, stay safe. And maybe don't go mushroom picking in Kamchatka.